Now, I am reacting to another VTuber, so... But, you know, people do this all the time to other VTubers, so, like... the individual I'm reacting to is... Tomoe. If you don't know, Tomoe Umari is a horse girl. So, if you don't know who Tomoe is, she is a VTuber as well, obviously. And she's a horse girl, and she is a very nice horse girl. And should be given all the head pats. The reason I wanted to react to her was a very simple reason. You see, she says here, what is it like to be a VTuber while in the military? I can relate to this because I too have military experience. I'm not going to tell you if I'm in, if I was in, whatever. Know that I have served. So I was curious about Tomoe and how she would react to this. So I wanted to go ahead and do a quick little reaction to this and just see, like, you know, what is her stance when it comes to it. Because as somebody who has, in my personal opinion, extensive military service, I mean, a couple of my NCOs I used to know or have way more than I do, but, like, nonetheless, I got a pretty extensive amount of its time in. So I know it pretty well, like the back of my hand. It's been a big part of my life. So I was curious, like, I wonder what she says. So we're going to watch this real quick. Again, Tomoe, 102,000 views on this video, 174,000 subscribers. Tomoe Umare channel. Tomoe Umare-chan, she's a horse girl. What it's like to be a what it's like being a VTuber while in the military. Again, way bigger than me. Don't need to give her a shout out, but nonetheless, I am doing my due diligence. As always, give respect and shout outs to those who you react to, as you should. So, let's go ahead and watch her, shall we? Let me go ahead and... Well, damn, hold on. Here, I'm going to shrink the video down a bit. There we go. Okay, now I am not blocking her, but also, like... It's better this way. Alright, so... Alright, Tomoe. What's your life in the military like? Let's compare notes.
Hi, wonderful horse soldiers. I'm Tomoe Mari, and I'm here to teach you about what it's like to be a VTuber in the military. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that a bit too niche? A little too specific, maybe?
In VTubing? No, not really.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. It's my life, yeah. Let's dive in. First and foremost, if you're currently considering typing, thank you for your service in the comments. Thank you for your support, but not just for my military service.
Real quick, yeah, you hear, it depends on who it is, but you hear that a lot. Like, God bless them. Everybody's really nice when they see in uniform and everything. They're like, thank you for your service. And the only response you can usually say is just, thank you. Because, like, what else do you say to that?
No, that goes for my VTuber work as well. Especially so, in fact, since I love what I do and I'm glad that I can entertain so many people. It's truly heaps of fun. Okay, so for starters, a question that I've gotten many times over the years that I've been a VTuber is whether or not I'm allowed to stream while in the military. Would I get in serious trouble if anyone found out? Am I only allowed to do so because I'm a recruitment psyop?
If you're a recruitment psyop, I've dealt with recruiters before. I don't think that recruitment is not this. Recruitment is very, like, tied to. They're not professional, like they're not professional marketers. So recruiting's usually done by, like, just NCOs who are appointed to it. Every now and then you get an officer in it, but, like, most of them is just NCOs. So unless Big Army decided this, and I promise you if Big Army did it, you would see watermarks and army marks, and she would probably be talking about it, like, you could tell.
or something of that nature. Kind of a crazy one, but okay. Either way, I'm more than happy to shed some light on these subjects. As an important matter
If I get distracted, pay no mind the
Umarmi
jiggle.
is my community name. When split, it reads as Uma Army or Horse Army. Thanks for making that more clear, by the way, Uma Musume. I don't represent the US military in any official capacity, nor would I want to, quite frankly.
Nor technically could she. According to regulations, if you are in the military, you are not allowed to like represent them in any type of entertainment or political or government or like informational status without strict approval. So unless she was a psyop, she technically cannot represent the military.
It'd limit what I'm able to do and say much more than you might think. The Umarmi is seriously cool though. I mean, we have our own camouflage pattern, our own mascot.
Cute. Aw,
and
adorable.
it's just a whimsical and fun place where all are welcome. What could be better than that, huh? Also, there's no officers, as I am the SM2U, aka the Stable Master Sergeant Major of the Umarmi.
Stable Master Sergeant Major of the Umarmi. Oh my god. That's almost as convoluted as some military ranks. He thinks that she's an NCO. No officers. There's many a NCO that just chuckled and said, that sounds like a good idea.
And I'm free to do whatever I please, so...
By the way, Sergeant Major, if anybody doesn't know, is the highest, like... There is no such thing as a Master Sergeant Major. There is a Master Sergeant and there is a Sergeant Major. A Master Sergeant is an E8, which is a senior enlisted, usually people who have been in around like 20 years, close to 20 years. Sergeant Majors are usually people who are been in over that, and they outrank them. Sergeant Major is the highest ranked non-commissioned officer you can be. Sergeant, essentially. After that, there goes chiefs and then lieutenants and captains and majors, etc., the officer ranks. But yeah, she's calling herself Sergeant Major. Yeah, Sergeant Major would, because we have a Sergeant Major of the Army. I don't know their name off the top of my head, but like there is the commander of the Army. There is like the chief of staff and everything, and in the Army, well, chief of staff is a different position. That's a different position. That's actually more like a joint organization. But I digress. But yeah, the Sergeant Major. Technically speaking, a Sergeant Major is outranked by a lieutenant, which is the lowest rank officer there is. Good luck getting anybody to listen to a lieutenant over a Sergeant Major, but like technically even the Sergeant Major of the Army, the senior most top-ranked NCO in the military, would technically have to answer to a lieutenant. Technically. Again, try to find anybody who enforces that rule. But yeah, that's why she's calling herself a Sergeant Major. That is the highest. She said there's no officers. Technically correct. What she means is there's no commissioned officers, because an NCO is still a non-commissioned officer. So she is still, if she's a Sergeant Major, she's a non-commissioned officer. But anyway, that's why she calls herself a Sergeant Major. That is the senior NCO rank.
Sweep the sunshine, mop the rain, that's how it ought to be. I run a tough stable around here. Then there's also a matter of legality. Yes,
here we go.
What I'm doing is legal. If I started doing something like discussing politics, though, it'd be a little iffy, since service members aren't supposed to publicly do so. It'd kind of be a big no-no, you know? Military law and all. I also try to maintain a degree of professionalism by not making NSFW content and by being courteous to others in general, though truth be told, it's also my nature, since I don't have any desire to make sexy content, and I don't particularly favor jokes that are made at the expense of others. Also, before anyone says, Tomoe, you swear like a sailor.
Hold on. So, a little bit of a caveat here. I just wanted to go over this. I thought she probably would talk about this, so I did double check, because usually most people ask, like, hey, can you say certain stuff? Recently, it has hit her recently, because, like, people are saying, like, why aren't you saying political stuff? This is, one, she doesn't care for, but two, this is another one. She's in the military. If you say political shit and people like, you're a soldier, even though she's not in uniform and she says, I do not represent the military, just by letting people know she's in the military, she can get in trouble if she gets political. Because, let me see, there's two regulations that she's talking about. One is, the main one that she's talking about, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. DOD now DOW. DOD used to be Department of Defense. It's now been renamed to the Department of War, which was what it was when George Washington and Henry Knox founded it back in the start of the American nation, back in 1783, etc. I don't think, no, 1789. No, Washington didn't take over until 1789 because the Articles of Confederation didn't work out. But anyway, DOW Directive 1344.10, permissible activities and prohibited activities, section 4.12.1, use of official authority or influence for interfering with an election, affecting the course of outcome of an election, soliciting votes for a particular candidate, or soliciting political contributions from others, engaging in fundraising, marching in partisan political parade, displaying a partisan political sign, poster in your front yard. There's multiple different things you can't do. And that last part is if you're on base, or if it's like on base housing, etc. Even if it's private, if it's on base, you're not. You're technically not even allowed to fly any flags on base unless it's an ally flag, a state flag, and by ally I mean allied nations, a state flag, or the American flag. If you fly Confederate flag, you get in trouble. You fly rainbow flag, you get in trouble. If you fly freaking Alabama state flag, whatever, like not the state, but like the university, like Roll Tide, you fly that, you get in trouble. You're not allowed to fly those because that is politically charged and ideologically charged and a failure to show complete devotion to the military and the United States. You're not allowed to do that. I remember that being put actually into effect. But like all this stuff, and in particular, there is one which I think she's saying right here, like 4.1.5. Activities not expressly prohibited may be contradictory to the spirit of this directive. Essentially, don't be political, don't take sides on shit. Any activity that may be reasonably viewed as directly or indirectly associating the Department of Defense with partisan political activity shall be avoided. Now you know why she doesn't talk politics. Again, she says she doesn't even care for it. But again, if you're in the military, you don't talk politics if people know it. You can talk politics otherwise with your friends outside, out of uniform. That's fine. But if you are bringing up your service or you're in uniform, or like even in her, like she's in a pretend uniform, even then that's skirting the line. Because what I just read to you was DOD directives. But there's also something called UCMJ, which is Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is like a massive number of articles which explain like what people can do, what people can't do, and how you're going to be punished if you do it. And the one she's specifically speaking of would be the general article, is Article 134. This covers conduct of a nature to bring discredit upon the armed forces. If political activity is disruptive or makes a military look partisan, it falls here. That is specifically from the regulations, UCMJ. You can get in trouble for that. You can get cut out for it. There's another one, Article 88. You can't badmouth the president. You can't badmouth, doesn't matter if you're pro-Obama, pro-Biden, pro-Bush, pro-Trump, doesn't matter. You can't badmouth the other guy. You can't badmouth senators. You can't badmouth mayors. If they're an elected official, you gotta shut up. You can't badmouth them. I've even had people who have been on, this is something where they always go big on like Facebook, is people used to put stuff on Facebook and they'd get their ass in trouble. Why? Dumbass would have themselves in full uniform in their outfit, like on their Facebook profile and say, I'm in the military and I'm stationed here. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Like anonymity is your friend. But yeah, that was a long tangent, but I just want to like go over that detail of like, you know, one of the reasons why. And let me go ahead and let her finish.
Though you've clearly never met a sailor before, you silly fucking goose. Now let's talk about...
Yeah, okay, there's another thing. You never met a sailor? You never met a mechanic in a motor pool if you think she swears a lot. If you think I swear a lot, no, I got NCOs, particularly like infantry ones. No, I sound like a nun going to church on Sunday Mass compared to these guys. Trust me, it gets worse.
Oh, what made me decide to take this path? Everyone's got a reason for wanting to be a VTuber. Money, fame, world domination, perhaps.
I'm the last one.
All of the above, even. Well, In my case, it's a tad more peculiar. You see, people in the military have all sorts of hobbies ranging from games to cars to, you guessed it, anime. Yeah.
Yep, lots of it.
It's a lot more
a lot
popular
of
than you'd think.
A lot of the ones I've known have been like woodworking. It's weird. I've known so many NCOs who have been big into woodworking. Like they get laser cutters and everything. More power to you, brothers.
In the service, especially since you don't exactly get bullied for enjoying it anymore.
So
like back
many
in the old
privates.
days. My
You go into their
thought
barracks,
was
it's
that
just
if I
anime
became a
everywhere.
VTuber, aka something anime-like, it'd resonate with a lot of my fellow service members.
It does.
That way I could help lift their spirits and raise their morale since a lot of my people are pretty damn depressed. I also really
Dark topic. Yeah, there's a severe issue with like depression among the military. There's something called mental health, behavioral health. My apologies, behavioral health. They have a place on base specifically. If you start like exhibiting like weird signs of like negative emotions that may lead to self-harm, we'll say, yeah, you get sent there immediately. And if you're a leader and you don't send your guy there and they like hurt themselves, your ass is grass. Army takes it very seriously.
like anime myself and have since I was a little horse, so that helps too.
Same, since I was a little fox.
Anime. I never could have imagined that my silly little hobby that I did in my spare time would grow to be something I'm extremely passionate about, nor that it helped make so many people just a little bit happier and more motivated.
Me and her are very similar
ups
on
and
that.
downs over the years for me, since I've been fumbling my way through it like a baby deer.
Pretty much,
And I got
same.
diagnosed with PTSD a while back.
Okay, so I'm sure most people have heard this from like military movies and whatnot. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Majority of people who have this are people who have been deployed. So she's probably been deployed at some time. And considering the sound of her age, she's most likely either been late Iraq or late Afghanistan deployment. You don't have to be deployed, by the way, to get PTSD in the Army or any military. It is... The term stressful does not even begin to, like, express it. Let me give you an idea. When I was in the military, one particular position I had when I was in the military, I would wake up at 5:20 in the morning to get ready for PT, physical training. You have to go and report at 6 o'clock in the morning to your unit to do physical training. You do that for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I come back to my place, I cook breakfast, I eat it, I take a shower first because I'm usually sweaty as hell because they'll run. One time my leadership made us run 9 miles in the morning. Yeah, it sucked. Anyway, but like we went out, we did our stuff, etc. And then I come back, I shower, I eat, I change my clothes, and by that time, okay, I gotta go in early because I got a freaking stuff to do. And I get my soldiers ready and straightened out. So I go in early. I show up usually around 8, 8:30, maybe even 9 if I'm lucky. And I'm there. I work through. Okay, it's lunch. I run down to the local shopette. I get lunch. I come back. I work through lunch. I keep going. 1700, aka 5 p.m. rolls around. If I'm lucky, I'm done. Usually I'm not. Leadership will usually say, hey, I have a bright idea. We need to do something. Great. We need a meeting. Okay, great. That's another hour or two. We're done. Usually don't get done till 18, at worst 19. Latest I've ever stayed at work was literally midnight. Not kidding. And I have had to sleep overnight too, and multiple times for like stuff, like guard duty and stuff like that. So that's also a thing. Then I go home, but I don't, and I change clothes. I go to the gym to work out because you got to stay in shape for the PT test, which is, even though you do PT in the morning, it's not really getting you ready for it because, like, it's kind of good, but it's more like teaching you how to do physical fitness rather than actually getting you physically fit. Then after that, you move off and you do, after that, I come back home, I cook, I eat my dinner. I sit down for like maybe a few minutes to rest, maybe call family if I have time, go to bed at like 10:30 or 11 if I stayed up really late, wake up after like 6.5 hours if I'm lucky of sleep, rinse, lather, repeat. Like, it is a very, very time-consuming job. Rewarding, but not for the weak of heart. So like you got like add all that on top of it to also being out in the field for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And just like in any job, the military, you can have bad bosses too. And like you're lucky if like you're in a civilian job, you have like a union or something. Like you can go and say, hey, like this guy was mean to me. Not military. Suck it up. Unless they say something that is EO or sharp violation, which I'm not going to get into that. They don't care. I have the things I could tell you. I've had leadership say to me when I've had an issue, they've like, no, fuck off and suck it up. No, not all of them, just the really bad bosses. And like I said, no matter what job you have, you're gonna have bad bosses. But you know, so you just got it. Like I know I have a slight touch of PTSD, probably not as bad as her if she's been on deployment, because I've never been deployed. I was never deployed, thank God. I knew too many people who died. But like, when you actually, because like, I'm not kidding you, for a while after I got away from it, like the phone, you would always be on call. People like, a general actually passed a rule, like a order once saying stop calling people after 5 o'clock. Enough. Because people would call you like 10 o'clock at night saying, hey, we needed to get this done, but we're going to get it done tomorrow. Make sure to come in. Like, they don't care. Like, like, when I heard a text go off or my phone go off, I would literally flinch. Because I'm like, oh, God, now what? Because not only that, you'd also have idiot soldiers go out and do something stupid, and now you have to go to the MPs and bail them out because I'm not even going to get into the stories, but yeah, like, I have a touch of it, but then, like, if you got blown up in Iraq or something, you're going to have it worse. So, like, there's our levels to it. So, hopefully she didn't get anything too bad. Okay, tangent done.
But through it all, I've been adamant on never giving up. I've got this stubborn determination thing down pat, you see. I guess they don't call it horsepower for nothing. And I get it because, no.
No.
Okay. As far as my military career journey goes, I started streaming as a little junior enlisted horse back in the barracks, and now I'm a big tough horse sergeant with troops of my own. It's great because now I don't have to worry about noise from my neighbors, annoying roommates, or a random heavy knock at my door while I'm midstream. Trust me, the thought of that put me in a state of constant fear. At least somewhere in the back of my head anyways. It eventually just became one of those, I'll deal with it if it comes up sort of things. Such awe-inspiring bravery, isn't it? That aside, there's a lot of misconceptions that come with being a VTuber in the military.
Okay, let me tangent on talk about this. So she said she started out as a junior enlisted in the barracks. Junior enlisted in barracks are usually going to be anywhere from E1 to E5, which is going to be private E1, private E2. Yes, we just call them private and private. I usually call them buck private and private. It's a differentiation because buck usually means bottom of the bottom. So buck private first class, that's E1 through E3. Then there's E4, which is depending upon the position. Like Marine Corps, it's like private first class, Lance corporal. Army, it's buck private specialist, and then sergeant. Now in combat arms, there's also corporals, and the Army's kind of like recently, from what I've heard, has started this thing where like they're technically upgrading, quote unquote, specialists to corporals to put them in line for promotion to sergeant. But corporal and specialist technically same rank, E4. So if she is a E5 sergeants, which are just the ones with the 3 stripes, they would still be in the barracks, technically, depending upon where they are. Upward inflection, question mark. Different bases, different rules. There are different, like, what we call them is isms. So, like, if you go to Fort Drum, there's a Fort Drum ism. If you go to Fort Hood, there's a Hoodism. If you go to Fort Benning, there's a Benningism. Like, every base has its own thing. But if she is not in the barracks, then she'd probably be above E5. And I'm not going to go into any more of that because, like, I don't want to zero in on her any more than that because because going any further would potentially be negative. I don't want anybody else to, like, potentially start thinking, like, this NCO, this rank is, I recognize that voice. I don't want that to do that because last thing you want is people at work to find out you're a VTuber. Hell no. But she also said the knock on the door. like that. What she's talking about is health and welfare inspections. So senior NCOs like platoon sergeants, and officers like platoon leaders, lieutenants, and especially upper officers like the company commander and the NCO, the first sergeant, who are in charge of the company, they will come around. Sometimes even the battalion commander and the sergeant major will do it. These are upper ranks like colonels and stuff. They will come to the barracks. They'll knock on the door. They'll open. It's like, hey, surprise inspection. Open your door. Oh, we're checking for contraband. We're looking for drugs. They're essentially looking like, do you have your shit straight? Is your room clean? Do you have it nasty? What is wrong? Are you not taking care of yourself? Why are there a bunch of nudie pictures on the wall? Stuff like that. There's certain rules and prohibitions when it comes to the barracks. And yeah, she's right. It's loud and annoying sometimes. People are just a pain. But like they're gonna go in through check there and like I've been part of some of these. It is not fun to walk into a private's room who does not know how to keep their shit clean. Because you will walk in, the odor will hit you, the clothes are nasty, shit's filthy. They have like styrofoam boxes of food they got from the DFAC, which is dining facility. That's what it means, dining facility, which is just a chow hall. And like you'll open that styrofoam container and like it's rotted and it's just nasty and like, private, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then you'll just scream at them. And then they get a counseling. But like, yeah, that is like a major issue. Like I can understand because like, imagine streaming and all of a sudden, hey, private, first sergeant's here and he needs to check your room. Shit! Okay, guys, bye! Oh my god, yeah, that shit can happen. But anyway, going back, let's see what she's talking about when it comes to misconceptions.
Military. This is in particular because a lot of people genuinely have no idea what people in the military actually do.
Not a damn idea.
They just assume it's like in the movies or something.
We have branches.
Which, is fair since I didn't really know much until I joined myself. But
I've always known my family's been in it for a while.
I don't know everything under the sun about guns. I don't have dozens of confirmed sniper kills. Actually, that about covers it. Just don't go off saying, shouldn't you be familiar with this if you're in the military?
No.
Unless you're really confident about it, or you'll sound like a huge dummy. Also, for the record, if anyone has ever confidently told you what branch I'm in, what job I have, what deployments I've been on, or anything about my service other than the fact I'm active duty and turn wrenches, they're wrong. Because I've never mentioned anything besides these two things, and the finer details of my career aren't what any of this is about. This whole...
Oh, darling, you shouldn't have said that. Yeah, if she's in the military and she turned wrenches, I will put money on her being Army. And if she is that, then she is then she's a mechanic, which is is it 89 Alpha or is it 92 Alpha? Hold on, let me double check. Let me see. 91 Bravo. There it is. The number 88 kept popping in my head and like, no, that's a trucker. So if she's turned wrenches and she's active duty, then I will put money that she is in a motor pool. And because like women are in motor pools too. She might be a motor sergeant. Again, upward question inflection. But yeah, that would be what she'd probably be doing. She'd be a 91 Bravo. How do I know this? Because I worked in a motor pool for a period of time. You got the Limas over there working on the hydraulics. You got the Bravos over there working on the wheel vehicles. Oh, shit. And then you got the armorers over there with the chiefs. They're the ones who pick up the weapons and clean them and fix them. Now, that being said, she may have been a motor pool. I'm talking about a full-on, like, actual, like, company-level motor pool maintenance unit. They have armorers who work on weapons, can fix anything from a rifle to a cannon, M77 or an M4. Then you have people who are wheel mechanics. They're the ones who are going to work on the LHS, PLS, FMTVs, etc. Getting parts. Oh Not even gonna go into the story of getting supply parts. Dear God, that's a nightmare. Then you have the other guy. Damn it, I forgot the acronym for it. There's another group that they're like the welders and everything. Damn it, I've been so long. My apologies. I can't remember everything. But like all these also have chiefs. Again, a chief is like in between a sergeant major and a lieutenant, but they usually have more time in than either of them. Like super experienced people who know like the back of their hand everything they know on their MOS. But either she says she's an NCO. Like, so she's already said it's like she's out of the barracks, so she has to be an NCO. So like, and if she's a 91 Bravo, then she's got to be working in a motor pool. And if she's working in a motor pool, I can think of only a couple of places where she'd actually be. But yeah, actually, I could probably guess the base. I'm not gonna. But yeah, that's probably what she is. Again, and I'm not telling you anything she hasn't told you. She's active duty and she turns wrenches. You can Google this shit. Like, you could probably go to Gemini and ask, and they'd tell you the same thing. But yeah, that's the basics of it, the details. It's cool. It's good to see that. Okay, so she's a loggy. She's in the logistics branches, which is transportation, supply, and maintenance. I'm sorry, ordnance. Ordnance is over maintenance and ammunition. Yes, they're part of the same branch. Don't ask. It's an armyism. But yeah, that's what she's talking about.
VTubing thing is about bringing people together from all walks of life and supporting both service members and civilians alike. And horses, yeah, horses too. Definitely horses. Can't forget about those guys. In that same regard, a lot of people have asked me why it is that I adamantly refuse to discuss the specifics of my career.
You don't want to dox yourself. Next question.
I mean, what's the harm in it, right? What could possibly go wrong, realistically speaking? That attitude is simply no good, in my opinion. Revealing specific information could very well make it easier to narrow down what base I'm stationed at, which in turn would easily narrow down my specific place of work.
Which is exactly why I'm not mentioning anymore.
Chain of command to try and embarrass or humiliate me. Hell, someone might even show up and try to assassinate me while I'm leaving work one day. You never know. It's not like I can just uproot and move somewhere else if I'm ever found, so I personally prefer to err on the side of caution.
100%. She should 100% do that. Like, stop asking her those questions because you're putting her at risk. There is something called OPSEC, Operational Security. Technically speaking, if you're deploying, you shouldn't even tell your family you're deploying until like the last damn minute. You shouldn't tell them where you're going. You shouldn't tell them when you're going. That should if you're gonna like, hey, I need you to drive me somewhere, that should be a surprise on the last day. I've had people, because certain people did not do OPSEC, lose their lives. Not kidding. Like, people will like, in the military, we shred most of our papers. Why? Because people can find out a lot just from a PowerPoint. Oh, this soldier has a bad hip, or oh, this soldier has an allergy to this, or oh, this soldier might be getting out soon, or oh, this soldier has a lot of bad finances. Maybe we could pay them some money to get some information. You have to be secure in your information. She is being very intelligent doing this because, yeah, like she said, somebody can easily, like, the phone numbers to the units are there. It's easy. You could easily call up a leadership and say, hey, this person's being shit. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why very few people who know me know that I'm doing this. I can literally count on my hand the number of people in my personal life who know that I do this. And like I said, I may still be in, I may still be out. Yeah, I'm not telling. Why? Because it's one, none of your business, and two, I don't trust people not to do shit. If I'm retired, then you would just want to come out and find out where I'm in to embarrass me. If I'm still in, you could want to cause me trouble. And if I'm about to get out, who knows? My life is my own business. And this is like, VTubers have to be specific anyway. I mean, remember, Camilla got some lunatic coming after her with a baseball, with a freaking sledgehammer, and she's just some poor girl on the internet. Can you imagine what some people might do to somebody who's in the military, who has a popularity? We've already seen people try to cancel her. There are psychos who would do it. So 100%, yeah, never give away your information.
That info is out there, you can never take it back. Speaking of which, you might also be curious about whether or not my coworkers are aware that I'm a VTuber. The answer is yes and no. There's a few people I trust that have known for a long time, but I don't exactly make it a habit to yell what I do in my free time from the rooftops. So long as it doesn't interfere with me performing my duty to Uncle Sam, it's quite frankly no one's concern to begin with. I'd also like to make it clear that I am in fact a very patriotic person.
Amen.
I love my country, even if I don't always agree with what's happening in it. I mean, I've been serving it for long enough to see a lot of different things unfold, so logically it wouldn't really make sense for me to agree with every single one of those things, now would it?
I served under presidents I liked. I served under presidents I didn't like. I served during conflicts. I served during peace. I am the same way. I am extremely patriotic. My family has been here for almost 400 years, and hopefully, God willing, I will have kids to continue that line. And America number one, USA, USA, USA. Don't like it? Move. But yeah, I'm 100% with her. Heavily patriotic. Definitely standing for it.
Even so, I enjoy the enriching history of the United States and what it stands for. Bald eagles, colorful explosions, freedom, and everything else of the sort. That I will never back down on, because we stand up for our beliefs in these parts. How do I even find time for any of this, though? I mean, doesn't the military keep you super busy training to fight bad guys or doing mundane work like you're living out the filler episode of an anime? To be honest, it really depends on your job. As a wrench trainer, I do stay late many days, and sometimes I have to cancel my streams. Oh God,
I gotta talk about
There's
this.
Also concerns of deployment and such, but I'd let my fans know if anything like that was of imminent concern. So while it's not as chill as a cushy office job, I can still squeeze in time in the day to do what I love.
She said before, she's no longer in barracks, so it's a lot easier. She just goes home, sets up, and streams. Like I told you, my schedule. Again, I've worked in a motor pool, full company level motor pool. Like, it's a huge bay, like 10 bays, trucks everywhere, people working around, turning wrenches, popping on electronics, popping off electronics, taking out engines, pulling them apart, putting in tranny system. Like, it's the number of times I have gotten orders from hire. No one's going home. We've gotten approval from brigade, because usually it has come from brigade. We're staying late until these vehicles get done because the infantry needs them for deployment. Oh my God, there have been some late ass nights. And if you're a good leader, you don't just say, okay, Snuffy, Private Snuffy, that's a nickname in the army. It means just any Joe Schmo. Like, all right, Snuffy, you stay here and work. I'm going home. No. If you're a good leader, if your people are there, you are there until the job is done. And that sometimes means you're ordering pizza to work. And you're not getting home until late, and you're going straight to bed. But that's also something that a lot of military will do is... when you're in, a lot of times you will stay up late as hell because you're trying to grab some free time for yourself. So you're like, well, I'm only gonna get 3 hours of sleep, but fuck it, I'm watching stream tonight. Oh my God. But yeah, she's 100%. It depends on your job. Some jobs are a lot easier. Infantry, you're out in the field almost every damn day. Wrench turner, sometimes you got some really late nights, but if you got a really good boss and a really good leadership, they have it well managed, and you should roughly be getting around 1700, as long as people ain't got no good idea fairies every other day. But I remember sometimes the brigade will get they got really mad about it. It's like, hey, stop holding everybody late, because they just got into a habit of everybody staying until 1800, 6 o'clock, and they were like, stop that. Leaders, clear everybody out. Nobody stays beyond 17. Okay. It's people had to go hunt through the rooms to make sure nobody was sticking around hiding, doing extra work. That doesn't always happen again. Also, sometimes it depends on leadership. Sometimes leaders are good. Sometimes leaders are a little less concerned with the welfare of their individual subordinates because they're getting results. And again, that's not the military, just the military. That's anywhere. You can have a shitty boss no matter where you go. I will say I've probably had more. Let me think. I've had good. I'll say it's a balance. I've had good. I've had bad. I've had neutral. A lot of them, I'm glad I met them. Some I wish I could scrub from my memory, but hey, that's life. But yeah, you can squeeze it in. It takes balance. Sometimes you don't have the time. Sometimes you do. Like sometimes, like, if I was gonna do this, like back on that heavy time, like when I was super busy that time, because I actually had to drop YouTubing for a while. Because if you've ever seen my YouTube channel, I actually had like YouTube videos going way back 7 or 8 years. I was making that for a while when I was like when I was in, and then after a while I had to stop because work got so hectic. I just couldn't keep going. So I had to stop, and like for 5 years, my YouTube channel just was dead. Like nothing got uploaded. I wrote it off, and things changed to where I got a better job, and then I got more time, and then I could do this more. But yeah, you can do it. Like she said, just takes a lot of balance. By the way, I just noticed that her hair thing is kind of like a harness. It's kind of like a bridle. That's cute. That's a nice touch to the design.
It may then come as no surprise that time management is actually a pretty big part of it. I have to sacrifice a lot of time that would otherwise be spent socializing and touching grass.
Take that sleep off.
Unfortunately, I'm an introvert, so I'm not really too torn up about it. There's
Most
always
of us
work
are.
to do, and I do almost everything myself since I'm very stubborn when it comes to relying on others. Over time, though, through trial and error, I've found a way to operate efficiently, and now I'm an excellent manager to myself. If you're in the military and considering streaming as well, just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. It's one hefty uphill battle. Lastly, I've often been asked, hey, Tomoe, what about me, huh? Should I join the military?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I'm going to let her give an answer, and then I'm going to answer.
To which my answer is, and always has been, why are you asking a horse how to live your life? Why? Okay, no.
That's so topical for that video, for the shit they've been giving her lately. I love her. She's cute.
It's actually, don't do it unless you're 100% sure it's what you want to do. It's a big commitment, and you're almost guaranteed to come out of it mentally or physically damaged in some way.
100%! 100%! 100% agree on that last part. 100%. If you don't have a busted knee, you're gonna have a busted head or a busted heart. So, oh God, the divorce rate. Christ, I'm gonna stop. Carry on, Tomoe.
So if nothing else, you ought to make sure that you're using that time to better your life in some way and make the most of the benefits afforded to you. If you plan on joining soon, you have my support.
Same.
If you don't, you have my support as well.
Same.
Honestly, you should definitely join the Army no matter what, though. I promise I'm not the least bit biased. So that's more or less my story.
Okay, before she finishes. Military. If you join, you can it can be a short-term thing. You can join, get some experience, get leadership, 4 years in. After that, your contract's usually done, no matter what rank you are, and you're able to leave. You get your DD for 214, you get out, you get your benefits, and you live your life. You want to stick around? Hey, why not? In my opinion, go for it. Join up. Like, literally, it's 4 years. You just did high school. If you're not going to go to college, there's nothing that can hurt you. Now, you might be a little bit overweight. Don't worry. You can lose it. I did. I had to lose a lot of weight to join because I was a big guy. But I did. I made it. You guys can do it too. If you want to join, just join. Like, again, if you're not going to go to college, I would highly advise it. Because, like, what else are you going to do? Like, unless you have a really good job lined up with like friends or family that guarantees you, it can only be beneficial to you. And you don't have to join the Army. You can join the Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps. All depends. If you're really smart and you're really computer savvy, go Air Force. If you really like boats and you want to go see the world, join Navy. They're going everywhere. If you're a hard charging guy and you're like, I want to shoot things and blow shit up. Hell yeah. And you like big women, Marines. If you are just a guy who just wants to coast through and not have to worry too much and just learn a little bit through life and kind of want to like fade in the background and just do your own thing, that's more the Army. It's big enough to where you can kind of fade in. As long as you don't, as long as you're not a shithead and you don't cause trouble, no one's going to care. Like, okay, private, get your shit done, get your stripes and get out. Like, that's as long as you do your job, people are normally going to leave you alone, especially if you're low rank. And again, it'll give you discipline, it'll give you strength, it'll give you a new outlook on life. You may end up liking it and want to stay. My dad did. It didn't work out for him, but like, my mom was like, no, I don't want to stay. He was like, okay, fine. I love you. I won't make you stay. But yeah, but you may want to stay. You may want to make 20-year career out of it. And hey, when you make 20-year career, when you're done, you retire, you go out, you come back in, you can be a DOD civilian or DOW, which is essentially like there's a bunch of civilian jobs in there. If you're previous service, they're going to snap you up immediately. You take that job, you're getting a retirement check for being in the military. You're working full time. Then you get done with that job, you retire again. And you can retire after 20 years. Think about that. Join when you're 18, retire when you're 38. Now, there's caveats on you getting the money, but still, that's fucking awesome, ain't it? And then you get all this other shit. That's killer, ain't it? So yeah, I completely and 100%, especially if you're a male. I don't call me sexist. I don't care. Especially if you're male, I 100% strongly encourage you to join. It can't hurt you unless you're just a little bitch and you're gonna get like, or you have a temper tantrum, you're gonna cause trouble. If you're a troublemaker, like don't bother. If you want to be some rebel, don't. But if you just want to make a better life for yourself, and the benefits like the GI Bill, $50,000, maybe they went up on money. I can't remember. Like all that money for free college, practically. And then when you get into college, you may want to join ROTC and come out as an officer. Now, you want to talk about making money. But like, hey, do it. Again, that's her choice. She says like, hey, maybe, maybe not. I highly advise it. But anyway, carry on there. Master, Sergeant, Sergeant Major, Major Damer, hitty.
As a VTuber in the military, I've gone through many stages of character development and I feel like I've learned a lot along the way.
You will.
Once my contract is over here soon, I promise I'll dedicate even more time, love, and energy to my projects as a VTuber. I wish I could say I enlisted for some big noble goal to begin with, but admittedly it was primarily for education benefits.
GI Bill!
Honestly a pretty common reason nowadays.
Yep.
Despite my reason though, it's been a fulfilling experience and I have no regrets. I mean, I'd probably still be a whole lot more awkward and shy otherwise. Hell, I might not have even started VTubing. That's a very real possibility as well.
Same for me.
I also don't regret becoming a military-themed VTuber in particular. Sure, I could have hidden my military status and avoided the hurtful recruitment psyop allegations and other hateful accusations from people who hate service members, but I'm not ashamed of who I am and I'm glad I could bring the folks in my community together. Many are just here because I'm a goofy tomboy horsewoman too though, which is totally a-okay.
I can't deny that last one. The physics are good.
I'm a very layered, complex woman, and there's much to behold. Will I ultimately be able to make a big difference as a VTuber someday? Honestly, I don't know. It's still too early to know for sure. What I know now is that deciding to become a VTuber is one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. Same. And I'm glad so many people have chosen to take time out of their chaotic days to partake in my content and support me. Amen. You guys are epic. My ride or die. Get it? Because if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to enlist in the Army if you haven't already. I'll see you all around.
She opened cards. Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Tomoe. Oh my god, she's cute. I like her.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here.
Shut up, Rev. Oh my god.